May God please help you to be well and be safe and be good. In Jesus' mighty name, amen. I love you.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Dirty Disciples podcast. I hope you guys have been blessed by these conversations. Man, I'm actually bringing fire people on here. And don't be a hater, show love. In fact, shout out to everybody who has been showing love. Without further ado, let me introduce my next guest to you guys. This guy is a problem in more ways than one. More importantly, he's single. If you're a lady watching this and you're serious about life, then this is the guy for you. Show love to my guest, Mr. Godfrey Kadzere. How you doing, brother?
Yeah, I'm very good, man. I'm very, very good. I'm not sure when the grand reveal should happen.
Give the ladies what they came here for.
You see, married people are a problem. Married people are always trying to launch the single people. We can't be single in peace. What is this?
What is that? Has anyone ever been single in peace anywhere in life?
Bro,
let me know, guys. Is anybody truly single in peace? I've never heard of that one. But anyway, how are you doing, brother?
I am well and winning, bro. I'm very blessed and highly flavored. You know what I'm saying? You know why I say it flavored, though? Because we are the salt of the earth. Come on, somebody.
You know what? I say that all the time. So great minds, bro.
This is why we are kindred, my brother. This is why we are kindred.
Hey. No, I actually say that all the time. I always say I'm blessed.
Shout out.
Some people go, why?
Yeah.
Salt of the earth. Let's go. Out of interest, I mean, just to get theological here for a moment, unnecessarily.
Yeah.
Salt has no flavor. Salt actually pulls out flavor. Yeah. So when you put salt in meat, it actually pulls out the flavor that's in that meat. That's quite something, right? Anyway, I came here for a different kind of flavor. Listen, bro, thank you so much for honoring the invite to the Dirty Disciples podcast. Listen, the theory here and the premise of what you do here is very simple. Discipleship is a dirty business. Even though Christians like to act like everything is clean and perfect, it's not. You know, it can be quite complicated in all facets and areas of life. So I suppose I'm wanting to have conversations around that. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. This is a question that I like to ask everyone. Godfrey, what are you most passionate about in this season of your life?
Oh, that's a tough question. As a liker of things, godly things, there are quite a few things that actually pique my interest. You know, I know first and foremost, above all things, I love people. I genuinely love people. I love connecting with people. I love influencing people. I love learning from people. I love entertaining people. I love, people. A lot of what I do is centered and focused on people. And so in this very season, I've been so excited about events where people gather for a particular purpose, whether it is to celebrate, whether it is to learn, whether it is to challenge each other, grow together, enjoy an experience. And so I'm in the entertainment space as well with the many things that I do. And part of that is facilitating events, managing people or managing the experience for people. I know I said facilitating events, but in other words, I'm an MC, right? In other words, I'm an event coordinator. And it's been so exciting for me to see an event come together, people enjoying that event, people enjoying the experience, people enjoying themselves in that space and enjoying each other in that space. So Christian events, to be specific as well. Last week I was emceeing, 2 weeks ago, I was emceeing like a worship night. Man, that for me was amazing. That's kind of what's been really exciting me in this season.
That's really powerful and inspiring, man. So how do you manage that attention? Well, I imagine there's a lot of attention that's coming from the fairer sex.
So what may be actually surprising is that I don't get as much attention or the kind of attention people think I get. So managing it isn't really necessary or like a thing. Like I can't, at least in the most conventional and readily identifiable way, I can't say women are out here throwing themselves at me and like I have to be like, no. You know that Drake meme? Nah, nah, nah. No, but I know like it definitely maybe I would say like I'm always just super aware of like certain boundaries and cues, right? That can kind of invite certain attention and stuff. And I don't think I give that. I don't think my brand screams, come at me, you know. Yeah,
Be
I feel
family
like,
friendly.
yeah, I think so. I mean, what I presume is that a lot of people actually kind of have to get the story in order before they approach me. Maybe I'm intimidating. I don't know. Maybe I'm scary or weird. I
You're
don't
not the
know.
one
Maybe
that should say anything. Ladies, let us know if you know Godfrey. What's Godfrey's problem? Is he intimidating? Is
no,
he
for
too
real, bro.
serious?
Like
What's the story here? Does he need to be
maybe some people think I'm too much because I'm loud, right? And loud, not even literally, but sometimes figurative. Like I'm very expressive. I'm charismatic. I live. I go. I do. So maybe that's too much for some people. So I
Yeah,
don't know.
without a
Like
doubt. I imagine that is too much for some people. Without look, I want to cut straight to the chase. Look,
yeah,
I wanna talk about Christian dating. I'm married now,
yeah.
so you know what that means. I'm an expert. I just,
Come on now.
I remember when I got married, I told like on the week that I was getting married, I posted a status and I was like, uh, X amount of days to go until I become an expert on all things marriage related. And
Facts,
you
facts.
know how Christian people
Yeah,
are, they were so charged. Just
yeah.
because you get married, it doesn't mean you're an expert. I said, shut up. I'm officially an expert. I don't want to hear anything. So
Bro,
if you're not
it's like,
asking questions, zip it.
yeah. It's like how when you're single and you become a boyfriend, you know everything about relationships. You know everything about Njolo.
That's my story, and
Yeah.
I'm running with it. I don't want to hear
Nah,
anything.
nah, I stand, bro. I'm with you. I'm with
So
you.
let me ask my question directly. Godfrey,
Yeah, yeah,
what's
sure.
going wrong in
Hmm.
Christian dating, bro? What's up? Listen, bro, it just I'm gonna be a bit crass on here, and it's called
Hmm.
Dirty Disciples for a reason. So if you're watching this and you're a bit judgmental, leave, please, in Jesus' name.
Yeah, no, for real.
What is actually wrong with Christian dating? Because for me, the way I see it, I only think one of two things, and I'm not putting you on the spot here. But when I look at the
Mm-mm.
church and I see young people, young adults are getting too old without being married. Now I'm thinking only one of two
Mm-mm.
things. These people are sleeping around, or there's issues. They want to be married, but there's actually challenges. And I know it's
Mm-mm.
probably both of those things because I know some
Mm-mm.
people are out here sneaky linking with each other. And so there is no like need to rush this process. Not that marriage is
Yeah,
only about sex, by the way. There's so
of
much more
course,
to
of
that
course.
dynamic. So what's up, bro? Why, like from your perspective anyway, you're a man of the people. What's going on? Am I imagining things here?
No, not at all. So there are two things that I think we can point to when it comes to the issues or the struggles that Christians are facing in the dating space. If I sort of reword your question, why is Christian dating such a schlep right now? Um, so two things. One, I would say, and not in order of importance or significance in this question, but one is that there's, have you heard of the term the grandeur of options or
Ooh,
alternatives?
ooh, yeah.
Right? I think that one is kind of kicking our generation and younger, or at least, yeah, in that people always feel like there's so many options. The world of the internet, the world of the internet, the World Wide Web has connected us exponentially in so many dynamic ways that we feel like there's just always so much more out there, that settling or being established or being stable in a particular connection with someone seems like a loss, right? Because there's always just going to be something better, right? There's always someone who's going to be more beautiful or more proper or more presentable or more suitable, right? Because there's all these options, and we see that Instagram has kicked us, Facebook, Pinterest, LinkedIn, whatever it is, X, right? All these things are just shoved in your face, and you just see options.
And the quality, I mean, maybe quality is not the word, but the content as well.
Right.
Anyway.
Or even the fact that even if it's not on a virtual platform, but even in the church, our eyes are a bit more open now, because now even the options in person, where there's mang from choir, there's mang from ushering, there's mang from prayer ministry, kids ministry, all these options. We're just thinking, so that, I think that messes us up. And then the second thing is, and for me, this is actually the more integral one. I feel like the struggles with dating in the Christian space are largely standing on the issue of governance relating to dating from a Christian point of view. So I'll give you the example of this. We know that marriage is governed from a biblical point of view, right? Husbands do this, wives do this. We know that parenting is governed from a biblical point of view. Parents do this, children do this. We know that the workspace is governed from a biblical point of view. Slaves do this, masters do this. Our boyfriend and girlfriend, right? We know that society is governed from a biblical point of view. Neighbor, love your other neighbor as you love yourself. Yeah. So governance in the dating space is tricky, because now what at the bare minimum, or the very base of it, is friendship. And now how do we govern dating from a friendship point of view, which is governed in the Bible? Friendship is governed in the Bible, right? And it's governed in the Bible. We also have examples, right, of friendship, what it looked like between David and Jonathan, between Moses and his other friend in the desert there.
Homies.
Jesus and his disciples, he says, you can call me a friend. So if friendship is governed. So now even that becomes blurry and tricky when we think of, okay, what is expected? Like, you see how when people are trying to do marriage light because they're trying to govern dating or courting even, right? Where people are trying to practice submission, or people are trying to practice honor and love as it is expected in Ephesians 5, right? So it's tricky. It's so tricky.
This is fire. I need to interject and
no, it's all good. Yeah,
I want to interject and just say something on these two things that you're mentioning. First thing, you speak about this idea of being flooded with options. This makes so much sense to me. I actually saw something online by a salesman who said this. So the salesman speaks of this idea of selling shoes, or it could be whatever. People come into the store, they're looking for shoes to buy. So you pick a shoe that you want to fit. So what he'll do is if you pick two pairs, he'll bring both pairs for you to fit. If you say to him, can I also fit the Nike Air Force Ones? He'll then ask the question, which of these two do I get rid of? And supposedly, by applying that principle, what in effect happens is it increases the likelihood of the person buying a shoe. But the minute they go three options in front of them and higher, it rapidly decreases the likelihood of them buying shoes. So I think that speaks to the idea. Of course, dating and marriage, people are not shoes, but in truth, the more options available to you, it does tend to tamper with your decision making. That makes sense. Why? Because with Godfrey, I like his sense of humor. I love his adventurous spirit. With Mikey, he's so consistent with such and such. He is this. And so it becomes a build a man. It's no longer, or build a woman. And then on your second point, which is this, the second one was firstly, on the first point, what I wanted to say was, so when it comes to decision making, I guess for me anyway, what I try to encourage people is, I heard something that really blew my mind, which is we can live our lives fixated on making the right decisions, or we can learn to make our decisions right. Now, we should all be endeavoring to make the right decisions. But when we make choices, we should then decide to make those choices the right choice. So the person I marry is the right choice. When my wife annoys me, it doesn't become a question of, did I pick the right woman? It's just a thing of her being annoying. She's still the right choice because I've made the right choice. But obviously, take that with a pinch of salt. Pray about who you're going to marry. Don't go marry a bum. And now you're trying to make the right choice. Although, if you do, they are. The second point, speak to the idea.
I just thought of something so stupid, bro.
Interject, and then I'm going to tell you this.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, no. Like, if you go marry a bum and then you want to make her booty.
Don't do that, friends. Don't do that. So in the first one, you spoke about the idea of multiple options. The second one, jog my memory. I've just gone for a...
No, the second one is on governance.
Yes.
Like dating. How do we go about dating if there's no rules or biblical principles? Yeah.
100%. On that one, this is what I like to say. I actually always say to people, there's a theory that I've formulated now since I've been married, which is that dating is actually very different to being married, and it's not particularly beneficial to marriage. There's probably one or two things that prepare you for marriage in dating. For the most part, it does very little to prep you for marriage. And I know that this is unpopular. This is my opinion. I'm not expecting everybody to agree with this, but I'll give you a random example. In dating, you practice this notion of, this is how I show honor, etc., for a person whom you selectively spend time with in controlled environments. And then you get married, and that goes out the window. You don't selectively meet with this person. They're in your face 24/7. You do every aspect of your life with them. You don't get to choose. So immediately the mask comes off. So, and then I can speak about multiple other areas. I can speak about money. It's like the way you spend money when you're dating, becomes completely different when you're married. So am I discouraging people from dating? No, but we put way too much of an emphasis on it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then lastly, I would say that I know a lot of Christian friends, i.e. somebody like yourself included, and I know a lot of ladies, brilliant people, where I go, these are phenomenal people. They love the Lord. They're committed to purity, struggling to get into relationships. And even when they're pitted with other people where you think, oh man, this could make sense, it doesn't work out. I think people overthink this thing. They even, I know some friends, Christian friends, who don't even flirt. And I'm like, which manna is falling from which heaven here? Flirt, for goodness sake. Just do it in an honorable way. What are your thoughts on that, Godfrey?
Bro, I love that question. So it kind of speaks to socialization. It speaks to your background. It speaks to the environment in which you were nurtured, what you absorbed as you grew, in terms of what is acceptable and what isn't, what is, I feel like it becomes a thing about being conservative versus somewhat liberal or free, right? It's I remember one of my pastors at church, it happened earlier this year. We were launching a ministry, or a part of a ministry in our young adults ministry, and he was very excited. He was like, "Yes, now we're gonna see more marriages coming out of this ministry, right? Young adults." And he was like, he said it in Shona, right? And the timba nai, like it means like mac on each other, right? Like hit on each other, guys. Like
Hallelujah.
share like each other, share like each other. Let's see godly relationships brought out of this thing. And it was a bit like, right? When a lot of the guys heard it, they were like, "Oh, pastor, oh, wow, wow, wow." But I was like, yes, actually, because everyone's kind of used to, like, it's like we expect miracles out of it when sometimes you need to play a part, right? Like, I don't know how you expect something to just manifest without you being somewhat inviting and somewhat, um, sexy. Like, I don't know if you remember, we used to joke about this years ago. Like, you can be sexy and saved, right? You can be,
I
you
remember
can
it
be,
caused so much controversy.
yeah, you can be bootylicious and biblical. You know what I mean? Like, but for some people that are so set on a straight, rigid narrowness about being human,
Yeah.
it's an abolishment to this, like, so, or like how you can as a Christian, you don't have to listen to hymns all the time. You can
Yeah.
listen to contemporary music,
Yes.
right, where you can say, "God, I'm digging you," instead of, "God, I adore you." You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
feel like that kind of imagery and those kinds of metaphors can apply to what we're talking about, how you express yourself in this dating space or in this romance space,
Yeah.
where you can flirt like, "Hey, I think you're stunning," instead of, "You are blessed beyond measure and you are edifying my soul as I behold your beauty." Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to say that you're touching on something really profound here. And of course, listen, it can maybe come across as being a bit facetious. People might go, "Oh, it's more, there's something more hectic here." But I think, I think a lot of things under the guise of, "Oh, I don't want to be impure. I don't want to be this. I don't want to be that." I think we hide a lot of our fears. We hide a lot of our anxieties, which I think it's normal to have those fears and anxieties, but don't pretend. I
Mm,
think of course purity is always the standard.
yeah.
Holiness is always the standard. And I think you can, holiness and purity and righteousness does not rid people of their personality. And I
Mm,
think, my encouragement is always avoid sin.
mm,
If I'm a guy, avoid sin. That doesn't mean avoid girls. Do you know what I'm saying? On that, I
mm.
want to know. Let's get into the meat of it, man. What are
Sure,
some
sure.
of these challenges? What are these challenges? I mean, practically speaking, because we philosophize about these things. What are the actual challenges? Why are guys running into brick walls when it comes to ladies? Maybe I'll get a lady on here some other time. What are the
Mm,
challenges as a young man? I look at someone like you, I go, "This is a handsome, young, gifted man who loves the Lord, who works hard. He's not lazy, he's not a slob, he exercises. What's wrong with you ladies?" And then there's all these ladies, "Godfrey, my friend, and my this, my that." I'm going, "Ay, man.
Um, so I think, practically speaking, some of the key hurdles in this whole thing pertain to social pressures that end up affecting people adversely or negatively. I'll give you one example. Um, Finances or money or the
Ooh,
material aspect of romantic connections and relationships. I genuinely think men are struggling with that. There's this fixation on a lot of women. I don't want to say most. I don't want to say many per se, but I think a lot of women project and purport this standard of expectation on, "He's got to afford me, right? He's got to be able to, like, take care of me and do all of this for me." And so it's like, women are just kind of there to just take, and men are just expected to give. And I feel like a lot of men are actually just like, you know what? Screw this, like I don't want to. I don't need to, I don't have to, and I won't. And now there's this clash where there's so much of this expectation, and then there's all this disappointment, there's all this lack of willingness, and people just missing each other
Yeah.
on the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's just one of the bigger things where like men, when you find out like young men are just doing the most to find money and or financial resources or whatever because they're trying to impress women, and they're trying to live to this particular standard or of superficialism or materialism, whatever it is. And yeah, I think that's kind of kicking a lot of people. So to me personally, I know what I've struggled with. Not so much that, because for me, I mean, guys, I'm good, in the sense that like whether I have or whether I don't, I know who I am, and I know who I am in God, and I know who I am to people who matter to me. So whether I'm getting the attention or not because of what I have or don't, I don't care. I'm good. But I know like I've seen it in stories I've heard in some of my friends in their lives that what I've experienced, that man, like you can see this guy's drowning, bro, because all this pressure of showing up financially or like materially or whatever, or ascetically. um, and then also, yeah, I feel like people are also missing out on like roles, right? The roles, or so what is traditionally acceptable about what a man should do and what a indoor must, those chats. Yeah, people are struggling with that, man. Like, but why? Why do I have to do this? Why should I do this? Do I have to do this?
Where's your dad?
Eh?
Where's your dad?
Fatherlessness, that's another one. Hey, dog. People are expecting their dads in their boyfriends and husbands, and hey, yeah,
You've just opened a can that we are going to have to tackle in another episode. I promise you.
yeah, yeah, no, bro, it's a lot, dude. Because I think, okay, I hope this is the last thing we'll say, but I think even not just for men, but even for women, I know that when we look at yesterday's man and woman compared to today's man and woman, the disparity a lot of the times is in what was glorified, what was encouraged, what was championed, and what was lauded, right? And when we look at the relevance of all that to romance today, men and women, suffering of sorts was glorified, right?
Yeah.
And I've seen where today's woman labels today's man weak or I don't know, unstable or not as manly and whatever. She's comparing him to the man and woman of yesterday who glorified suffering to an extent. I hope you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And so when we look at what is somewhat expected today, where someone has to kind of grind to get someone's love and attention and whatever, and a gent is like, you know what? Nah, I'm not here for this. It causes a lot of fracas in the system of this thing, but he's not even trying or whatever. But maybe he did try, and maybe he tried to an extent, and then he got over it. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. And that's just another. So yeah, I don't know. I think those are all contributing factors. There's no right or wrong answer, I believe, but I know I'll say what I've said holds water in that, all of this with where people are so dissatisfied and insecure and what about their marital status. A lot of these things that we've kind of touched on already are big factors. Yeah.
Really, really powerful, man. You've actually shared so profoundly. And I'm interested. I'm going to actually look for a lady that's somebody I respect, um, who can perhaps respond to some of this. And I
Sure.
hope you'll be willing for us to dialogue some more.
Oh yeah, bro. I'm always game for this, man. These conversations give me life, bro.
Yeah,
So yeah.
I'm honestly moved because I know I approach this dialogue with a lot of humor, but it's actually something that um, I feel like we should talk about because I think
Sure.
there's so
Sure.
much value in marriage, man. I'm not saying marriage is not an achievement, so that also we shouldn't put it on a pedestal. But
Mm.
but there is, for me, I'm talking in particular for people who are saying this is something I desire, and
Yeah.
I'm in a season
Yeah.
where I feel like the time is right. So I'm not speaking
Yeah.
to someone where I'm trying to convince you to chase this.
Mm.
In
Mm.
particular, to people who are saying we want this, but it's honestly a struggle. So
Yeah.
this is the last thing I want from you, Godfrey, before we hear back and then pick it up again. Uh, I want you to think. I'm going to just do a little blurb here at the end, but I want you to think two questions that you, serving as a spokesperson for men who are in this experience that you've described, two questions that you would want to ask ladies that are the subject of what you've described. Think
Mm.
about that. So once again, thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Let me know what you think about what has been said. Do you agree? Do you not agree? You are welcome to disagree. Maybe you, the lady that wants to be on here, hit me up. I'll get you on here. Let's discuss this. Perhaps you're not even a Christian, but you want to enter this dialogue from a completely different perspective. Come on, let's have that chat. Godfrey is on socials. Do follow him. What I'll do is I'll tag his socials in the post somewhere. And yeah, just give him a follow. He posts a lot of phenomenal stuff. And Godfrey, again, thank you so much for honoring this invite. I appreciate you deeply, brother.
Brother, I'm grateful and very excited about this opportunity. I'm looking forward to more conversations. Thanks for having me. What you're doing is dope. So yeah, let's do it, man. Let's do it.
And keep me in your prayers, man. I want to grow this platform. I'm praying the Lord will
Sure.
provide me with equipment to up the quality and standards, etc. But we're not going to wait for that. We're going to do it right now because discipleship is dirty. We can't wait for it to get clean. Two questions. Let's go.
Yeah. Why? Right. The one of the first question is just why. I always end up asking myself, like, I've seen that women think differently from us. Women see life differently from us. So whenever I read something, I experience something, I learn something, I'm just like, why? Why is the woman, maybe not women, but why is the woman doing this? Why? I want us you. I want us. I want you guys to tell us why. If you stay when you should leave, why? If you go when you should stay, why? If you are excited about marriage, why are you excited? Like the why. I just want to know from women why. And then secondly, how, right? I think at least the how for me is how can you really step up and help men be the men that you want to see? So it's easy to complain about, yeah, men are trash, men are this, yo, men are slacking, men are this, what. How can you help us be the men that you want to see in the society? Whether are you praying for us? Are you teaching us? Are you talking to us? Are you, are you counseling us? Are you correcting us? How? I want to hear from the women. Yeah.
It's too much. It's too much. My head is spinning. Ladies, you have a right of reply. I'm not going to say anything on top of that. Those questions, no saucy. Ladies, you have a right of reply. Godfrey, thank you so much for joining me.
Cheers, bro.
I'm excited. I'm just excited.
It's gonna be lit, bro.
I'll see you soon.
Cheers, my guy.
Cheers, brother.